Yes, I am now ready. Subtitles. No. Just a minute. So, yes. Now I'm ready, technically.
Very nice. Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
So our topic is alchemy and a method of transformation. Transformation. Okay, from medical point of view, transformation of disease into the health, the psychological transformation, the tamas into the sattva, and
Yeah.
so you came to this method. Before you came to this method, you studied different teachings and different methods, but then at the end you came to this alchemy. So can you give the example or can you definition of alchemy in your mind, and how it's synthesize different parts of the knowledge?
Very nice. Look, my knowledge of alchemy began differently, like it took many years to understand. Technically speaking, in psychological terms, then alchemy is a process in modern psychology. Alchemy is a process in which you are transforming your base motives. So, base motives or base instincts is hunger, thirst, sex, self-preservation. They are our basic motives to win myself, to become a winner, to become successful, to become first. These are all base motives, which you will find in every human being. Very simple. That's a motivating factor into them. So these are all unconscious base motives, which if person is moving, person must be motivated. In order to make a movement, you must be motivated. This motivation can come primarily from hunger, thirst, sex, self-preservation, successful in this way. Hoarding, creating more money, becoming billionaire, millionaire, president, prime minister, whatsoever, a success man. So these are the base motives. Alchemy is a process, if you want, a conscious interference. In a way, you can call it an interference because a simple life is going on. Person is living, everybody is living like that, and we take it as a normal life. This is the life, everybody is doing it, so I am doing it. In any case, you become interested in transformation in a way that you want to have a golden wisdom. So we say that transforming base motives, desires, things into a golden wisdom. It's not saying that after this golden wisdom, you will not go for sex or money or self-preservation. You will have, but with a wise way. It's a transformation. And transformation, we say, not a change of idea, but you are going beyond yourself. You are going beyond your limit towards an infinite direction where it's not ending. It keeps on transforming itself. To set up the life on this track, you need to think a little bit differently. And here we can interfere, like a person is meditating many years and not succeeding, or you're not satisfied, or maybe doing wrong meditation techniques. In this way, when we interfere with our wisdom, then you have to understand the process, that in this process, we try to elevate the person to give a glimpse of enlightenment.
Mhm.
So once a person had a glimpse for a second or 2 or 5 seconds, for a while, person sees it. And his motives, which he thought this is the meaning of life, to have more money, to have bank balance, to have wife, to have children and live life. This was the only motive in the person. This is the base motive. And now the person says, okay, what is my limit? Who am I in reality? What is God? Is he really exist or not? What is this Allah Ballo about spirituality? And in this, I want a genuine knowledge so that my time is not wasted, my energy is not wasted, and I follow the proper technique. Then we apply this method with our own consciousness. We are interfering basically
Mhm.
into the person. If person demands assistance, person must have desires for transformation
Mhm.
and burning desire. With this desire, we can work. Desire is already there, and we set up the track. No? Like, if desire is not there, it's very difficult to do alchemy because desire itself is not there. Person is only interested. Even though we work on this kind of people who does not have desire, but when we introduce this process of alchemy, person recognizes it and he sees it that this is the path, real path, and person becomes interested. So it works in both ways. If
Mhm.
person has burning desire, it sets up the path very quickly, takes less time. Person doesn't have desire, it takes long time because we have no way to awaken intelligence. We can only work through the mind process and create
Mhm.
change in patterns of mind. Like in person doesn't have desire of alchemy, then hypnosis works.
Mm.
Hypnosis or dehypnosis, self-affirmation, this kind of things works on the level of mind. If person wants to go beyond, then we can go beyond mind and transcend the ego formation,
Mhm.
which is the basic barrier in realization of truth, and we work directly. At the same time, all the diseases which were concerned or related with survival, sexual relationship, or relationship with the child, or state, or any way person was having difficulties, is the removed from the root. And health starts to manifest, but organic health. Not like only one disease is solved and another, but in an organic way, person comes back to the path. We can start to understand it at the level of body. The alchemy process may go to Hatha Yoga or Ayurveda.
Mhm.
Through herbs and through rigorous discipline of physical practices, you can go through the alchemical process,
Mhm.
transform it. Many methods in this alchemy process, like one of the definition you see in Ayurveda, that transforming base metals in gold.
Mhm.
Psychologically, we say base motives to gold and wisdom. Same thing.
Mhm. And
Yes,
in pranic body, uh, how is the alchemy works?
alchemical process is, if you go to the pranic body and directly influencing, you have to take course in Hatha Yoga,
Mm.
or understanding the Patanjali system is also alchemy. but systematic procedure of 8 limbs, if you understand how to work, it's a complete transformation in the person, but just taking long time. Dehypnosis process also can be used, but it doesn't work in a complete transformation because it remains on a mental level, subconscious level, over the mind. Like dehypnosis, like we have been practicing, or I have been practicing when I was teenager, in that time that I am attached to the body. I am the body. So usually person who is involved in base motives, he says, I am the body itself. Nothing else he knows. He knows only the pleasure and pain. So you can de-hypnosis, you can use, I am not the body. Opposite, no? Like just contrary idea of thought, and you keep on repeating it. Repeat it consciously. When you are going to sleep, then you repeat it to take it subconscious. Keep on repeating it until it becomes part of unconscious. Same mantra therapy. Mantra also working in the same way, but it has limitations. So this de-hypnosis process, self-affirmation, take an idea and implant in the mind. If person doesn't have a desire of self-transformation, then you give this idea in hypnosis. I want to know the God. I would like to know myself. I am determined to know who am I. So this way you set up a direction of the mind to implant a desire of transformation into the person. That is beginning of alchemy, you can say hypnosis way. That sets up a permanent idea, and I slowly, ego starts to accept it, this idea, and determines yes. And then after some time of repetition, few months, you become determined, I am a sadhak. I am a meditator. I am going for enlightenment. This is my purpose of life, to attain samadhi. So these ideas are implanted. If it has been already implanted, then you don't need to go through that. If person is completely zero, then we initiate into the process with the idea of formation of I. Ego has to be formed, and spiritual I has to be formed first in order to give, surrender. You have to have something to surrender. No, I come to surrender my ego. I should have a crystallized ego for that. Ego is already not there, so what you give? So personality is formed in the sadhak, which we call jigyasu, many categories. No? Jigyasu, just curious about it. So people who are curious about it come to me or come to the path of alchemy. Then just the positive affirmation, giving the direction, and setting up the core value of the mind. So mind takes as a core value, oh, this is the highest value in my life. I am born to be enlightened. The purpose of my life is to attain Kaivalya. Once this desire is set up, then anything which is as an obstacle, you slowly remove it. But first, this ego has to be settled. A personality has to be created. A character has to be born. This is the hypnosis process. You get the idea, implant an idea which is contrary to the ideas which are inflicting suffering in you, or creating problems in you. So modern psychology is, now you can say it's a primitive psychology. Before it was very, very modern when Freud was there. Now it's very primitive. Like psychologists will say, it's a very primitive approach, but it's okay. It's working. But to begin with, this was the limit of psychology, hypnosis. And it has a limit. It's only bearing a character, not giving you truth, but setting up better. And you have to have a character. You have to have a personality. Then you have to have an ambition, goal, accomplishment. Then it will drive you to sit every day, meditate every day. So this is hypnosis, or you call it dehypnosis. Process is the
and
same.
it works on the level of mind, and then the level of ego
Yeah,
formation, character formation.
yeah,
And
strengthen. Yes,
is
yes,
it any alchemy on the level of intelligence? It's the goal setting and
yeah, yes. But provided this character is crystallized,
mhm,
like in the beginning, a meditator is going unconsciously. Meditator is repeating, "I am a Buddha."
mhm,
Its ego is identifying, "I am a Buddha. I am a Buddha." It's you don't know, but it's going on in subconscious mind.
mhm,
So there is a conscious learning and there is an unconscious learning. Conscious learning, like we are trying to learn consciously something. We are
mhm,
focusing on a subject, which we call conscious learning. But what about after this 1 hour, 23 hours, we are unconscious learning? So in unconscious learning, if you change the environment, then I am a Buddha. If this
mhm,
idea will start to implant. Somebody will sit in front of you, say, "I am meditating for 10 years, I am almost enlightened." Then
mhm,
once it is the law of ego formation, that ego cannot stand without countering someone in front of you. A ego starts to be formed in front of another ego, otherwise it will never get formed.
yes, yes, yeah. To get the limits and the
Process
borders,
will
it
not
has to
stop.
be.
You come to me, "I am Pavel from Cyprus."
Mhm,
I have to say, "I am Govindaranjan from Rishikesh."
mhm,
The ego is formed to counterbalance another ego. I mean, to communicate with another ego. So here you have to form an ego. So if a person is already working, the person is already formed her ego, crystallized, that I belong to the elevated souls, I belong to different categories. So his I is attached, defined, clarified with experiences and conviction through actions. I'm a meditator,
mhm,
I'm a monk. So this idea of I is crystallized. And my highest goal to achieve enlightenment. This has already been set up in deep unconscious. Then
mhm.
next step. For this, we don't get involved in this mind process or calculate. We don't need to implant any idea to crystallize a character, to create a personality. This work is not there. It's already there. This is already there. So a little bit working to, if it is not crystallized, uh, then crystallize it more, make it a perfect ego, perfect establishment where a person can sit, affirm, fight, defend. So once it is born, then different process. Then we have to take the person beyond mind.
And dilute the ego,
No dilute,
disappear.
cut it.
Ah,
No dilution. This alchemy is not like this. It just cuts the root.
mm,
Finish.
mhm, mhm,
Dilution process is in the mind. When you are inculcating a belief, changing a belief, you are playing with belief system of the person and
mhm.
behavioral pattern. Belief and behavior. Belief and behavior. Here we
But
need to
I mean, in the level of this beyond mind, it works all the techniques of Vijnan Bhairav Tantra. It's the
no,
dilute
no, here
the
we
non
no. It's a
no.
different structure. No, you need
Mhm,
to have a knowledge of Sankhya,
mm,
complete knowledge of Sankhya, this therapeutic model of Sankhya Yoga, which
mhm,
we,
mhm,
you have to have a thorough knowledge of it. So you are knowing what is happening in the mind of the person.
mhm,
Because here we are not using hypnosis. We are not going in personal history of what you did, what you did not do, and this kind of, we are not dealing with this kind of therapy.
mhm.
It was a different category already we discussed where we can handle it, belief change and behavior pattern. Here Mm, yes. So here, yes, you need to know the whole structure. You need to take a model, and model is best of Sankhya Yoga. Understanding the evolutionary process or interconnection of ego, mind, body, energy system, punch, five elements. All knowledge you must have to have it. So therapeutic models should be thoroughly studied, and you need to study a lot. Because to know the mind and to guide the person, how many, I mean, you have to understand the whole system for this. And then you begin and abide the person with a law. You choose a model, because in Sankhya Yoga, we have a definition of health. It's not, we are not just removing a sickness, we cannot say it's health. But health is positively defined that you must follow this path. This is the healthy path. So hence it is positively defined. So anywhere, like suppose it's a diagram and complex mechanism where everything is connected to everything. It's not any part, like if a system, suppose system, we have Sankhya, we have 25 elements. Within these 25 elements, each one is connected with each one. Understand, no? Like this 25 elements in there, and each one is connected with all other 24s. No one is separate.
This is the Mahabhutas, I mean the five elements,
all five elements, five cognitive organs, five
motor
organs, ego, intelligence, soul, all are connected. They are not separate. This complex understanding, you have to have it. How? So if you point anyone, earth element, so this element will connect to all 24. So this is a complex model, but it explains everything.
And the Tantra has the 36 elements.
36.
Something.
We don't go so complex. We are not going there. No. First, this is the best to work with Sankhya Yoga if you are working, because that Tantra which is calling itself 36 elements, they are not establishing. Look, Sankhya Yoga is dualism, dualistic model. It's best for as a science, best as a therapy, best as a medicine, because we have to work with dualism. Then you go beyond it, then you come to non-dualism. And then beyond non-dualism, this is beyond non-dualism, then 36 elements. So why we should go? This is the area of the people who are already enlightened and fighting with themselves, 25 or 26 or 36.
So in Tantra, there is different alchemy, or it's included all alchemies inside?
Look, Tantra system, if we evolve alchemy, that's only useful beyond enlightenment.
Beyond enlightenment.
Beyond enlightenment. Here we are dealing only till enlightenment. And for this, we need only 25 elements. We don't need more. Why to create so complexity? Tantra, if you will involve, then it will start to explain everything. Everything. It's like a space science, changing dimensions, transportation of the soul, omnipresence. It's very different dimension. Very different. We don't need to go there. We can confine ourselves with this character formation to ego and directly relating to intelligence and awakening of that. We need to keep a limit.
Yes, because if we go beyond the mind, we go into different dimension, and in different dimension, it can be different disease of different personality, or even don't have.
No diseases in different dimension. If you are following the path and you are not diverting yourself, That's the danger in Tantra system. You make an ist, your immediate ist, which has just died yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and you make it a ist. Person is still in the transit, neither has been born, that side nor this. It's between the wormholes. Like person died, and this is a wormhole, and through that he has to go to another dimension for the rebirthing. The person is in the tunnel, and you are not allowing the person to go here, there, and you jumped on it.
Mm.
Their knowledge is limited, their work is limited.
Mm-hmm.
And why to go like this way? No? And difficult path and very, very airy-fairy. We go with cause and effect as a scientist, then we can follow. And Tantra is also using the same model,
Yes, yes.
not using different models.
It's included in
It's
including.
included. Tantra includes everything. Only useful is 36 element, like you want to go to Mars and transcend to travel to another star without body and creating wormholes and tunnels and beyond dualism. So it's a different science. It's not needed for us, not needed at all here.
Is
But
it
we
any
can,
difference? Is it any difference in alchemy in men and women?
yeah. First of all, it doesn't work if you put a condition, whether you are a man or a woman. If we are going through, I never thought about it like this. And I have worked in alchemy with man and woman both and used the same model, everything. It was all same.
Mm-hmm.
Same technique was working.
Maybe the women have different instincts and motives.
No, as a technically is different. Yes, if you are using Kundalini yoga, if somebody is practicing, then for man, for sure, different technique. For woman, different technique. You cannot employ both technique to man and woman because their structure is different. So if you're using Kundalini yoga, Kundalini tantra, for sure you will improvise. Woman has to practice different. Man has to practice differently.
And motives instinct, because I think women have different or additional instincts, like instinct of birth, childbirth, and instincts of creating home space or feeding somebody. It's
Woman or man here, just because you are a woman, it doesn't mean that you don't have ego and you are not infected by anger, greed. You are infected by all jealousy, hatred, violence. Just because you are a woman, it doesn't mean that you don't have these things. And
but
just because,
the
yes,
additional instincts, additional for women, there are some other instincts which men don't have, maybe.
no, it's just the recording system, like perception. As a man, you perceive the world differently and make the map is differently. As a woman, you are making the map differently. But in alchemy, we are not concerned in this division. We are concerned, a man can also perceive like same way. So we are concerned how you are, your intelligence, how perceiving the phenomena and making a meaning out of it and breeding a character or ego, and then how the mind is influenced. So we study the same symptom and find the chief characters. So a woman can also be suffering with attachment to the body. They suffer more than man. So if you see the suffering of a woman in a spiritual sense, then woman is more suffering because they are more attached to the body rather than man. Men are less attached to their physical body and appearance. Woman is more. So there's the first challenge for a woman to detach from the body. If a woman can be detached from the body, she is beyond any man. In all the intelligence, it opens very high. And perception point is just different. Women will have perception different. The brain will keep the record of the perception different way to acknowledge. I also was studying that if a woman makes love to any man, a woman preserves the impression of this man. And even the father can be somebody else, but the character of this man she has made love may also be transferred to the man. Possible. So keeping a record of mating as a man data is different, and woman keeps the data differently in her brain.
And especially if this may make a trauma to this woman, she can keep this trauma for many years. Because I speak with some patients, and they said when we start going to the root, and the root cause, sometimes it's like some kind of sexual, psychological, or physiological trauma that in 10 years create a huge problem in hormonal system and then
This easily we can deal with. This is below mind. So if something below mind, it's like this. Problem comes beyond mind. When we start to go, that's the challenge. Within the mind, this trauma created, this cancer created 20 years before, 15 years before their transformation, relationship with all other elements, as much relation you get, and you keep on working. That's a very easy thing, deleting cancer, deleting this genetic disease, which you saw the records. How much time it took? 1 hour, 3 or 4 hours, 4 hours, and it starts to disappear. It starts disappearing in very first 1 hour, and next day, within a week, 3-4 hours of session, and finito. It's not returning back. But the damage which has happened on vertebral system, understand it. The physiological, psychologically, in the mind, in Manasari, I can remove, or you can remove, somebody who knows. So you cut the transmission, how they are connected. So you just keep on cutting the roots and giving a proper channel from where it should be healthy connection. So yeah, so in mental body, like the symptom was pain. You said to me, I followed you as a doctor. So how to measure it? So you said, go for the main symptom. So rather than going for, again, ultrasonic sound of the blood test, this almost test, I also focused just on symptom, pain. Person is suffering through pain. That is the main symptom. The damage is in vertebral system, right? L3, L4 has come together, or cervical is come, and they are deteriorating more and more, becoming worse day by day. When we cut the root, it's not that his vertebra will be repaired immediately, but the main symptom, which was pain, that disappeared. So this I measured, it's a success. The physiological damage which has happened, now you have to come to Ayurveda, nice food, proper exercise of yoga, and other exercise of pranayama. So we need to continue with some exercise of neurons, physically, grammatically done, specialized for this person to do. So a proper channel which is coming to movement on neurons. In the middle, the pranic system, the pranic body. So we are following Vedanta in a way. We change in manas. It will flow down. So the pranayama should be done properly. And exercise should be done properly. So mental body changed. Now slowly it will go to the energy system. Person starts to feel very good, no pain, so happy, so motivated to do work, earning a lot of money, meeting people nicely, and already wherever there was disharmony is deleted start to be deleted. So what the person wanted, I want to work properly, I want to be good leader, everything is happening. Nice relation with child, with wife, with neighbors, all is happening. But I am not sure how much repair has been happened to actual vertebral system. This is damaged now. I need to go for diet, pranayama, and my designed yoga exercise, especially for that, vertebra corrections exercises, therapeutic yoga, applied yoga, not a special asana, just apply. This is the disease and this is the movement. No need to give it a name of the asana. So applied therapy, yoga therapy, all is done properly, holistic way. Now I wait. 1 month passed, still no complaint. So next month again, I will keep on continue. Work is done. I will just keep on continue to check. After 6 months, yes, going to medical science, check the reports and compare. Or something new happens, who knows? So alchemy can be done. You can see on the 36 elements, we can done on one element to purify it, or any one point we can choose. Like ego. So if we can directly work on ego system and transform it. It depends how much person is allowing. That's why if person is fully ready for enlightenment, then person is ready to be transformed. If person is only concerned by wrist, still it has to refurbish the ego system. Even somebody has any issue in motor organs, but it is relating to ego system and intelligence awakening. Yes, little bit, it will be a little bit. Only that much is needed in the person. So you can say alchemy on the level of body, then prana, then mind, then ego, then intelligence, and then beyond intelligence. Beyond intelligence, you don't need technique. It's the guru just interferes. You are meditating, and suddenly a higher force interferes and takes over you and guides you further.
Okay. Is there any specific things in child alchemy? Or from what age we can apply the alchemy system?
It is best in old age. Like in the beginning, you don't need it. You just need to give a healthy discipline to them. Because this is the time of crystallization of ego system. So you help them to crystallize it in a proper way, education system, and just channelize it. As an adult, I found I did teenagers like 20, 24, but with any symptoms, some disease keep on happening. And doctor says, we don't understand it. What is this? So then person comes to me, then I have to look. Otherwise, we can apply mini alchemy, everyone, to keep the people on path. Like person is random, he is suffering, just giving 2 or 3 hours maximum and keep the person on track. So the many problems will disappear, person comes on the path and travels, starts to travel, work. When he comes to transcend his ego, then we will see later. So keep on path and let the ego and mind build, crystallize, ego crystallize. When ego is fully crystallized, then we can do something. So in children, no. In children, you just let them play and understand what is their strength and guiding them, giving them interested things to explore.
Yes. Yesterday I saw one lecture, one professor in Russia, because Russia is the leader of exploring the mind, the brain, the structure of the brain. they cut the brain in after the death. They cut the brain to 6,000 pieces, very slim, and look under the microscope how the different how the brain structure is forming, and they find out that some parts of the brain can be different in different people up to 40 times. For example, the brain of the very talented musician have some parts of the brain which is 40 times bigger than another person. So
Yeah.
and it's mean that people are very different in in brain structure, and but while the people living, it's very nice to have the to find some talented person in different places, in different occupations, and you can see how the people enjoying what the people enjoying to do. It's it's their karma. I mean, it's karma formation. It's depend on the brain structure.
Look, very nice. This is a science, no? It's studying the structure and the talent. You already decided what is your purpose of study, of what you are observing in cutting the brain. You are observing the structure of the brain, and you already know the person talent. Like they are studying Einstein. Everybody knows what was his capability and what he gives. Now you are slicing it and finding out what is normally not present, normally present in every human, which was not an Einstein, an idiot, and he is an intelligent person. What is the difference? So through that difference, you know, oh, this area is developed very much. So this is the mind. Same like in the body, if somebody is doing push-ups, then the biceps will be completely different than the other person's biceps. The structure. If you are studying the structure, so if I start to do 100 push-ups a day, then the structure will bound to change, no? Appearance bound to change. That's why scientists is studying in the same way. Very primitive. Very primitive approach, but there, as a science, their fundamental is there. That we don't know and we experiment, but very primitive thinking. So in a way, artificially, okay. So if I can change the structure, I can influence, they are interrelated. So if somehow in my brain they can create the same structure, if that structure found in Einstein. For this, now you experiment which chemical is needed, which injection should be given, what should be done. It seems like you say some person has to have a very good biceps like athlete. So what person has to do? You have a course to do it. So scientists thinking that if somehow we can learn what structural change should be got in brain and how to do it, we can create Einstein.
But they believe that the structure is fixed. You can never change the structure of the brain, physical structure of the brain and number of neurons. So it's never changes. So it came from the from the
What they're
birth.
studying, the structure of biceps not change, but the size may change.
No.
No.
Okay. No.
Like pituitary gland could be big, could be small. Is not possible.
Yes, pituitary gland. Yes, but
Size mattering.
but the brain, the cognitive brain. I mean, the hearing brain, the visual brain, there's some other brain like speech, like there are some different parts of the The brain with it is never change, never change. And the problem is you have to find your talent, then be the best in something you are enjoying to do, but they don't understand this thing of enlightenment or alchemy. I mean, the
Right.
people can transform.
We have 5 minds. Scientists working on one brain, no? Brain only, it's working. We have physical body, we have aura body. If you change the aura, the same person can act. Mental body, one idea, and the capability of the body can change. So this interconnectivity, and we don't have one brain only. We don't have only cognitive organs to eye to see. This is the brain. But I seeing what decision will be formed and how ego will change is very different, tricky thing. Same perception, everybody having, and each one is feeding its own ego that I am right. It's the same phenomena. And same person is reacting, no, I am wrong. I must interfere into the process. I cannot witness. This is a very complex process, and science has to go differently. It cannot solve like this. Science has to create 7 diagrams, 7 monitors, one representing on the skin soul, then another intelligence, then another ego, then another mind. It has to create many monitors, 7 monitors minimum, and then study that changing in one, what's changing in 7. That's the holistic approach. That we call it a holistic approach, that you are at least studying my all 7 bodies and their interconnectivity.
Mm-hmm.
And mental body is almost infinite. If you go like this, then for sure, like, look, when I was meditating on my third eye, no, and this was my famous, like, very all the time working, this starts to bulge out. The
Mm-hmm.
shape starts to change. Physical shape, this started to change. It will be always blowing up. So it starts to come forward. If you change the meditation technique, they will develop different faculties of the brain, and their impact in physiology. You can see that brain is also changing. It's becoming bigger or smaller, or its connections to neurons will be more and more complex. Something is changing in the brain, but I don't think it's be so good to study dead brain. You need to have a live brain, live pulsating brain for that. We need to have an instrument which gives, you need to map out your ecosystem, you need to map out the brain and mind, and just like physiology. If you put an electrode, we can see what's happening, neurons, how they are firing, where they are going. You are studying it, the interconnectivity. So the knowledge is just segregated one body. Knowledge which is now needed is a comprehensive knowledge of integration and interconnectivity of different bodies, symbolizing one, interconnectivities of different dimensions. This way, we need to study. Let science develop a little bit. Technically in Tantra, we say Shiva has 5 heads, 5, and he is giving knowledge for separately from all 5 kinds of brain to develop. And in a layman language, we see front, left, right, and the central brain. Like 4 brains, front, right, left, back, 4 divisions, and one the central brain, which is controlling all the 4. And the central brain, controlling all the 4 and may be connected to the higher sources. I was very much surprised. I'm in a group of Tantra, very nice group, Vimarsha, and some of the person hosted tantric idols from the past somewhere. And they were all perplexed. What is this? nobody can explain anything, in which you will see that Shiva and Shakti. I have this picture. Maybe if I find, I'll send you. Very interesting concept of Tantra, the way it evolved in India and how they handle the mind.
Mm.
So very nice symbolic form, like very beautiful in bronze or some metal, where Shiva and Shakti both are in unison.
Mm-hmm.
And their heads, and then you say that it's going above and creating more heads.
Mm.
So it's not one head, one person meeting, but it's creating more heads, and on the top, more heads. Like, so this concept and this idea or this knowledge, Tantra might have existed. And if psychologists will go deep, they will find it one day. Because I have been working in alchemy and I went through many, many layers of the mind, how the mind is structured. It is exactly the same. Like, it's very interesting. It's Maya. It's Maya. Nothing is
Mm-hmm.
real, but real. It suspects is real. It's not real, but it's still real. And in Tantra, we take dream as a truth. We don't say that the world is false. So Tantric is living everything as a real. And it appears to be real. It works as a real. In transcendental form, it may be wrong, but beyond non-dualism. But before that, it's all right. And its effect you can see. So if I could show you, these pictures was amazing. It was in the Vimarsha group. One scholar, Spaneshwar, he is teaching Tantra, and the group I am, just to see what's going on and how he's speaking. And they have genuine knowledge, like academically right. They try to be academically right. So this I found that mind has, science will come to this. They are studying wrongly, this cutting and this.
Mm-hmm.
They had to find out, not in this way, they had to study that if you're cutting the Einstein one slice and you are studying it, you have to go through this tantric system. That Einstein has two heads, and on the top he has four heads more. And this way going, and the end there will be one head in idol. So mind creates hierarchical system.
Mm-hmm.
Ego has a hierarchy. So one base instinct ego, then brain will set up and create one mind only for that, to handle it. If you go beyond more, then mind will create another, it's same like brain, but thinking in a different way. So polypsychic and evolution and controlling the mind, they are hierarchical system. Instinctive mind, creative mind, no? Intelligent mind, awakened mind. So there are many brains and many minds coming up and finally controlled by one. I will show you the picture. Nobody could understand.
Mm-hmm.
They are discussing about it, but didn't say anything. And I came to experience the same model while you are meditating.
Mm.
Very amazing. Brain, mind keeps all the records, all the people you meet, and it can communicate. In meditation, it was you can communicate directly sitting here with any person anywhere in the world, provided the person is a content in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
If person is a content in your mind, then person is related to your content.
Mm-hmm.
Tantra. This is Tantra.
Yes, and you get a connection and
real time. Not today you do something, tomorrow something will happen. Real time you can connect with the person. But then you have to follow this tantric system, which
yes. Guru connected with all his disciple everywhere with this.
yeah. One person and just one person on the top, and all others are just their brain.
Mm-hmm.
So this system, I like. Means I saw that they have explored this way also.
Mm-hmm.
This is only mind, only through mind, creating different hierarchical mind. And someday, if you want, we can go deeper with this mind, the five aspects of Shiva. So he gives five different knowledge through his five different minds. We are studying dualism. For therapy, healing, to beyond mind, to go until enlightenment, this system is the best.
Okay, thank you very much for today. We came from alchemy to the different minds and to the ancient experience. So they did this study of different minds. They even create a sculpture, the bronze thing.
Yeah, very
So
beautiful, very beautiful.
yes,
If
yes.
I can find you. I don't know. It's on my Telegram group. Or
So it's
I will send you this picture, and then I will talk in detail. I can
okay.
inquire what actually they want to convey the message, and this message is
Mm-hmm,
very useful for scientists now who are studying the brain, different dimensions, hierarchical system of the brain, and the science has to come out of their mind that everything
mm-hmm,
they can know just by the same method. They need to
mm-hmm.
change the observation method and their findings. Yeah.
Okay.
See
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much. See you. Bye bye.